So it's June 21st, 2022, the summer solstice, longest day of the year. Yesterday I came out here and took down some large grapevines and took down a few dead trees, which was, the winds calmed down, so I was able to do that. So here's one of the trees over here that I was able to get down. The area that I'm walking on right now is the Hugelkultur pit, the last one that we did. And this big old maple's been dead for a few years. Cut a few of the big limbs off. Nice root ball. And started filling in the hole here. I don't want to dig a Hugelkultur pit here. Sometimes I'll dig and just bury a root ball like this in the place where the root ball came out of. Just dig down deeper, bury it and all. But I think what I'll do is over here where there's a larger area and I won't disturb the roots of the various trees, that's what I'll do, is I'll try to choose a spot like that. Then I'll take these root balls that from the dead trees around in here, including this one here. I have a little bit more to cut through, but I'll bring Elon over to hold it. And I mean, this would make great firewood, but I don't know if I just might bury this. I've got so much wood that I've got to cut up around here, and I've got lots of grapevine that I've got to get buried as well. Here's a small section of the grapevine, and I'll give you an up-close look. So that's the size of it. You can see my hand here, but there's much larger ones. Some of the grapevine are probably, the big ones up there, they're probably a good 10-11 inches in diameter. Where they come out of the ground, they're certainly much larger. Sometimes they're a couple foot in diameter. But they'll send up all these sections, and they get way up here in the trees, and they're just all around in here. And it is work to pull them out of the trees. A lot of the dead parts will snap off up there, and eventually they'll break and come down. But the forest is just, there's sections up in that area there that are, I can't even use the track loader or the excavator to get through there. There's just no way. This stuff has been growing for 50 years or more, and man, I'll tell you, it's just intertwined between all of the trees up here and in their canopies. As the trees have grown taller, the vines have grown much more massive. So there's really, and I'm sure you can't appreciate it, you can't see it from here, but man, there's just, it's just laden with vines. Last year I took out a large one over here, and I made a large Hugelkultur pit. But I don't know if you can see from this maple here, is a real nice maple. It's got some dead limbs up there. And I pulled a lot of them out, but as you can see, this is just one of the limbs right here. And I'll wait for that to decompose because I don't want to damage the tree anymore. But they're just massive vines all around in here. Okay, so I got the big tree cut up into a few sections there. Nice and solid wood. It's probably been dead a few years. Started another pile. The root ball is underneath, in between these two maples here, and I pulled down a lot of grapevines. This is the area right here in front of us that I'm actually standing on right now, which is the Hugelkultur pit. And I think what I'll do, I'll probably take down this ash tree after lunch and dig the other hugelkultur pit right in here, staying away from all the other root balls around in here so I don't disturb the roots. I went ahead and filled in the hole that the other root ball came from right over here, and I've been taking down a lot of the grapevines, wild grapevines that have been way up in these trees and been pretty successful so far. I did walk quite a ways up in that direction trying to find the best path, and there's trees down throughout the whole area, and there are grapevines that are still up in there, but the bulk are all over in here and all down in there, and some more over in here as well. So I'll try and decide. I think what I'll do is bring the hulk back here, do a little bit of smoothing out some, and then I might put the big grapple for the hulk on and work my way up a bit further. Just not positive yet just where I'm going to make my path. I may bring some tree markers down to try and determine the best path so I can have a couple of roads, access roads, where I can get the tractor and the dump trailer on. I'd love to be able to get around here without it too many sharp turns and be able to get from where I'll be deconstructing a stone wall up on the other side of the knoll up there, and also be able to get up to our road up there, road, which runs along the property line up there. There's lots of vines and debris and dead trees up in that area as well, and stone walls and big gravel piles. Well, not big gravel piles, multiple small gravel piles. But I've got so many dead trees in here, and so many trees that have one of the, like bi-trunks and tri-trunks that are all dead. And it can be a little bit deceptive as you're going through. So I've got the dead limbs on here that should come off. Eventually, I'll have to choose one of these trunks here because this is just going to continue, especially during high windstorms. Material is going to decompose down in here. And this tree was split, like many of them have. So this ash is dead here. This one's been dead a couple of years. You can see the bark's all coming off of it here. There's still, I should say that there's still a little bit of life in the very top, but mostly poison ivy and grapevines. This one's been dead for years. This one's been dead for longer. And as many dead trees that look fairly symmetrical that can be habitats, I want to keep those. But here's where I piled up leaf material and decomposing wood 2 years ago, so a lot of that is probably broken down and be some nice soil. As you can see, when these trees split off like this, this part is dead, and that needs to come down. Just like this part is dead, and it's just so many. There's hundreds and hundreds of trees like this. And then I've got trees laying down all along here from these last few storms, all these dead limbs here. And somehow I got to make my way over without damaging any of the good trees. But first I have to come in here, cut up some of these trees that are down, take down anything that looks real dangerous so I can drive back and forth with the equipment, and make an access road that's going to work. So right now, standing here, it looks like right down here might be the best path, but we'll just have to see. Or do I make it a little bit windy? And again, here's another old dead ash here. And Out of those several trees there, 3/4 of them are dead right in here. So do I do it windy and come through here? If I do I want to take out that small maple? So I want to do the least amount of destruction of good trees as possible, trying to make an access road that's wide enough for me to get equipment back and forth, and so that I can work in here. So I just got to figure this out. So the more dead trees I pick up first, dead trees that are completely dead that need to be knocked down, take those out, and that'll give me a little bit better sight path so I can see where I should be going. So we'll figure it out. So right here with this ash tree, and this ash tree's got to come out. I think what I'm going to do next is dig this one out, make myself a hugelkultur pit right in this area here, and I'll just pile this log over to the side there, and then I'll be able to clean up some of the piles of, well, I've got root balls around, I've got lots of grapevine material as well, all sorts of stuff that needs to get buried so that I have more space and I can actually see the paths. It's just, when I have these big piles of grapevines and root balls in different locations, it's difficult to see what's the path of least resistance for me to work and make the access roads through the areas and all. So this is a never-ending endeavor, clearing up a small place, finding a place to put in a hugelkultur pit, cleaning up the site, and then continuing getting a roadway in. I need to get one more road down to the stone wall down there, then I need to get one up to our private road up in this area as well, so that I'll have turnaround spots and multiple ways, so when a tree falls across one access road, I don't necessarily have to deal with it right away, especially during the winter months. So I think what I'm going to do is Elon and I are going to take this tree down and figure out a hugelkultur pit in here and then start filling it up. So here we go. Well, here's the Hugelkultur pit so far. Hopefully you're able to see some of the depth that I was able to get. Several good size stumps in there. There's still a bunch more that I've got to go around and pick up. Some more dead timbers that are laying on the ground. This is some of the material that came out of the pit that'll be used for surface material on the stone. Not bad looking stuff. A fair amount of sand in this. There's actually some clay down below. Kind of amazing. At the base of it there is clay. So that's the pile. Here are some of the timbers I gathered up from around the area. What I'll do is I'll bring the hulk down with just a standard bucket, possibly first, just to smooth out some of the area. A little less wear and tear in the tracks if I get things smoothed out. Then I'll probably go and get the big grapple for the hulk and grab some more of the stumps and a lot of the grapevines. Then I think I can still get quite a bit more in that hole, and then we'll get it capped off. So that's where we are so far today.